two awesome leaders. This is so cool. We've got two awesome leaders. We've got Brandon and Tara. Oh, there you go. I'm on the spotlight. It's not about me. It's about these two cool people here. But it's actually kind of cool because it's their Friday night. They give up their Friday night to be with us here on Saturday morning. So I just want to really let you guys know if you're ready to start business and launch it and go all in, like I say, jump all in with both feet, not one foot. Who is here is ready to get started, to get going, and want to get to Bali, not in the jungle, but meet me down the bottom of the hill. Put a 10 in the chat here if you're ready. I love it. I love it. And I love that Jersey's done a nice quarter, has got us fired up, finding ways how we can incentivize ourselves to get to the trip. But before we get in, I just want to say I met Brandon in the flesh and I beat him at the dance off and I want to watch. So those of you who are there, definitely get to meetings. I'm going to definitely make so much more effort now to get to the face-to-face meetings. Being on Zoom is great. I've also got legs, not just the top off. But let's hand it over to Brendan. He's going to talk to us about the fundamentals of leadership and skills and how he started this business from the ground up. He's been with LifeVantage, I would say, from the beginning, about 17 years or so. And what is interesting when I met Brandon is that he had no network marketing experience, absolutely nothing. And he built this business from the bottom up. And I think from memory, it might have been about 36 months we became presidential. So, Brandon, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good to be back with you guys. Seems like I was just with you just a few weeks ago, but I was. I was just with you a few weeks ago. And I'm glad you guys are putting this training together. It's fundamental, just like anything else in life. As you up level your skills, you become more valuable to the people around you. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to try and level up your skills. And make this business a little more simple to understand. I do my best to not use the word easy. Sometimes it slips out. The business isn't easy because if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? There has to be something to separate. There has to be some struggle. Without the struggle, there's no opportunity. Just remember that. Like if you guys found if you found some things that are very difficult in this business for you, others have probably found the same thing. And if you stick to it long enough and figure it out, well, that's where opportunity is, and that's what gives us the ability to take this amazing opportunity and turn it into what it can be. So I love working with you guys. Nothing good is easy. That is absolutely true. So Josie, if you will message me, I messaged you in a chat. Just give me a message. Answer that question for me. I'm going to get started, but if you'll answer that question for me, then I'll know exactly what we're doing. Can I share I think I should share my screen because I think someone did make me co-host. I think I saw that. So, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Let me start this thing from the beginning. There we go. Can you guys see the screen? Thumbs up. See, I see some heads shaking. All right. You guys are looking at this photo. I love this photo. Because man,
Full
look at the
screen.
smiles. They're all authentic. They're authentic. What's that, Josie?
It's not full screen, Brandon.
It's not full screen.
Yep.
I think you might be able to see, because can you see my slides? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we can see everything.
All right, let's do this. One sec. What if I swap displays? One sec. I'm trying to remember the slide that I used last time to change this over.
Yeah, that's good now.
It's full screen?
Yeah.
Oh, that got it. Okay, good. I don't know what I did, but hey, we're not going to touch it anymore. Um, So, as I was saying, love the picture because the faces, the smiles are authentic, and um, that's what we're after when we're building organizations. What we're really wanting to do, guys, is have an energy that is impossible to ignore. I want you guys to remember that. When you are building, whether it's you personally, if you're by yourself, or if you have your first consultant with you, one of the first things you have to do is have an energy that is impossible to ignore. People will join you long before you open your mouth. They can see if you've got something good, they can feel it. And I love the picture because obviously it kind of shows there. All right. So um, let's talk about this. I think Sandy McClure mentioned this to you guys when we were in Australia just a few weeks ago. She said something like, if you haven't heard Brandon's analogy about the boat, you have to hear it. So I'm going to give it to you guys. Actually, this slide deck, I'm not going to show the whole slide deck, but this is part of the leadership training I'm doing in Vegas in just a few weeks. So here's the thing. One of the one of the most difficult things for me to try to articulate to people in network marketing is what we really do as network marketers. What is our job? And more importantly, how can I help people get where they want to go at the speed they want to get there? Um, if I asked you guys, would you like to travel to the United States by boat or by plane? I think I would know the answer, right? We want to go by plane. It's faster. If you want to get across town, you probably don't want to walk. You probably would like to drive or something that would get you to the other side faster. And so, one of the things I try to help people understand with our business is what will get them to their goals fastest. Okay. Now, the reason I'm kind of setting this up is I fully understand that when most people get involved in network marketing, because of the way it was shared with them, not necessarily because of something wrong with them, but because of the way it was shared, they end up talking about a product story. Okay. And it's a natural inclination, natural to that you're just going to share your story, share your product stories, and you get customers. It's a beautiful thing. And with Evolve, we are well paid for getting customers. All right. But I thought one day, I'm on the water a lot, and I love to use examples and analogies. And I thought about a boat, and specifically a boat without a motor. Okay. A boat that has paddles or oars. First of all, take a look at this picture. Okay. We don't know where this gentleman is going, but he has a destination. Okay. Now, why is he in the boat in the first place? Well, you could look at a couple things. One, maybe, I don't know, he doesn't even know how to swim, but he doesn't have a life jacket on. So I would say this guy probably knows how to swim. But the point is, um, it is obviously more advantageous for him to be in a boat than swimming. Would you agree with that? Okay. And I don't know what's in the boat, but with a boat that size, he could probably have more people in that boat, couldn't he? There's probably room for a few more people in the boat. All right. So let me start explaining, guys. Let me start explaining. There's product, there's the business opportunity, there's LifeVantage, there's our tools, and all of these are seen in this picture. All right. First of all, this gentleman in this picture has a destination. He's looking off to the right, but the boat is pointed kind of straight. So I don't know where he's going, but it looks like he has a way to get there, right? He has a destination to get to. All right. Every one of us on this Zoom tonight, every person that will ever watch this training in the future has a destination. It's our goals. What's your destination? What do you want out of life? What do you want that you still don't have yet? What is it that will make you happier? That is our destination. That's where we all want to go. Okay, now for a lot of people, it is a financial equation, especially, right, Phil, for the Reds. We're kind of like, what's the numbers? What's the numbers? Okay, got it. Let's go. Okay, I understand. I know my destination. My destination was to get to a point financially where I would never have to worry about money again. Meaning, if I went out to eat, it didn't matter what it cost. If my family needed something from a health standpoint, it didn't matter what it cost. If something broke around the house, I didn't have to leave it broken until I could afford to fix it. You guys get the point, right? I needed to get to a point where I didn't have to worry about money. And I had already worked for 20 years of my life before network marketing, and I was not even close to my goal. I was still worried about money, and I had a long ways to go. The journey, right? You guys, Life Vantage is the boat. It's the vehicle. Okay? Life Vantage is the boat. And the more people we can get in this boat, the better, right? Because there's a lot of people that have a destination that they're trying to get to. Right now, some of it, like I heard, some of it. Sometimes this is the why. Like the destination could be your why, but you need a vehicle to get to it. You need something that helps you get there. Okay, I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So if the vehicle or if the boat is Life Vantage, then what's the water? The water is our customers, whether it's a consultant or a customer. It's people purchasing product. It's what floats the boat. You guys, if there was no water in that picture, if there was no water in that picture, and you saw someone in a boat sitting on dry ground with paddles in their hands, you would think that person has lost their mind. Wouldn't you? I mean, sitting on dry ground, is the boat going to go anywhere? Absolutely not. The boat's going nowhere. All right. So the boat or our opportunity only moves when we have people buying product. Okay. You guys with me? Now, what does the man represent in the boat? The person in the boat is the consultant. The consultant is what moves the boat. Do customers move your business? No, they don't. You know why I know they don't? Because customers, they don't do trainings. Customers do not problem solve for other customers. Customers don't do all of the things that you do, all of the stuff behind the scenes. I mean, how many times have you planned a Zoom like tonight? There's some folks that really put a lot of effort into planning this Zoom. Do you think it was customers that planned this Zoom tonight? Was it customers that got this Zoom ID? Was it customers that made the graphic and put the flyers out to you guys tonight? Is that who did that? No, it was consultants. Okay. Consultants is what moves the boat. Consultants is what moves Life Vantage. Customers don't move Life Vantage. Without consultants, there is no customers. Okay. Now you could say the paddles are maybe our tools. You know, maybe the paddles are our videos. Maybe it's our Zoom meetings we do, our tools to move the boat. All right. So here's the question for you guys. And this is probably one of the things that's helped me teach as many people lately about where they should be focusing their effort. If any of you are feeling a little overwhelmed with your Life Vantage business, if any of you are wishing your business was moving faster, okay, how many people are wishing their business was moving faster? Right? It's probably all of us. No matter how fast your business is moving right now, you probably want it to move faster. Can I ask you, what's the only way that boat is going to move faster? I don't know if I can see the comments anymore than I'm sharing screen. What's the only way that boat's going to move faster? I can think of two ways. Either that man starts paddling faster, or we get more people in the boat. You guys following me? Now, if we get some people in the boat, consultants, right? The only people in the boat are consultants. The customers are not in the boat. The customer is what floats the boat. If we put people in that boat and they don't paddle, they're just in the boat. Are they making things better or worse? Worse. Their weight. Their weight, they are dragged. They're making it harder to paddle. They're making it heavy. So, I know we all have consultants in our business, in our boat that are not paddling. They're not. Okay? And some will put their paddle in the water every once in a while when they feel guilty. They'll stick a paddle in the water. Okay, I was on a Zoom. Okay, I did. I was on the Zoom. Okay, I put my camera on. Don't ask for anything else. Y'all paddle. Y'all paddle. Okay. Do you want those folks in your boat? Not necessarily. Okay. So how do we get more people in the boat? Let's start there. I don't know of any one of you that would just get on a random airplane without asking where it's going. Would you guys just go to the airport in Sydney or Brisbane or Gold Coast or Perth? Would you any of you just go to the airport, not look at any signs, and just randomly board a plane? If they would let you. They wouldn't let you, but if you could, would you do that? For most of you, no. Maybe if you're super adventurous, you guys, Australians, are kind of adventurous. Maybe you would just to see what happens, but most of you are not getting on a plane without knowing where it's going. Why in the world would anyone get in your LifeVantage business if you're not telling them where you're going? Where are you going? Why should they join you? What's the destination? This is how I launched my business. Those numbers that I showed you guys on my first segment, my first training a few weeks ago, this is how I did it, everyone. I told people where I was going. I told people I was done with trading time for money. I was done with working and working and working and being in the same place year after year. I was done. And I had found an opportunity that I knew would work because it's already working for others. And I'm going. Do you want to go with me? Do you want to build this so that we are no longer trading time for money? We're no longer going to be worried about paying the bills. Do you want to go? And that's how I got people in my boat. Okay, so that's number one. You got to get them in the boat first. So if you're going to get them in the boat, they have to know where the boat is going. And the destination has to be where they want to go. Okay? So that's why I'm pretty strong about the way I invite if you're going to be successful. Because if you're inviting people to hear about a product, now, I know at this audience, I can shoot straight with you guys because you guys are on this on a Saturday. You're giving your time up on a Saturday. So it's important to you guys. This is important. And because it's important to you, it's important to me to tell you what you need to know. You guys, if you're going to grow this business and get it where you want it to go, you have to be inviting properly. Inviting people to hear about a product will not get them in the boat. In fact, they're just going to float the boat more. They're not going to row the boat. Customers don't row the boat. They float the boat. Okay? Now, once you get people in the boat, they go, okay, Brandon, sounds good. I want to go on this thing. Now, what do I need them to do? I need them to paddle. I need them to paddle. Now, I know at first they may be lost. And so I'm just trying to get them to have a paddle in their hand and just stick the paddle in the water. So what do I have to do? I have to kind of coach them, don't I? I got to make it simple too. Can't be too complicated because if they're paddling on the right and I'm paddling on the right at the same time, what's going to happen to the boat? We're going to go in circles. Okay? Like we got to keep this thing balanced. But what I don't want to do is complicate it. So I'm going to make it very, very simple for them. And I'm going to encourage them along the way. All right. This is how I get paddles in the water. Now, this analogy started years and years ago. A couple weeks after Lynette and I reached Pro 10 or presidential, another Pro 10 called me, Tyler Daniels, and he's like, so what was the difference? Because for the previous 18 months, as I explained to you guys a few weeks ago, but the previous 18 months, I had the volume. We were over $1 million in volume for 18 months. I had the volume. So Tyler says, so what was the difference, Brandon? What was different this month than last month? And my immediate response was, we had more paddles in the water. We had more paddles in the water. So for all of you, that simply means you are giving people, one, a reason to put the paddle in the water. Two, you're making it simple. And three, maybe you're even incentivizing them to paddle. All right. Making it fun, encouraging them along the way. So what does that look like in our terms, right? One, you have a simple system that everyone knows and everyone does. If I go to your team right now and I ask them, what is your consultant onboarding system? And I get 5 different stories, your boat's going in circles, guys. It's going in circles. And if you've got someone saying, no, I paddle like this, and no, I paddle like this, no, you can't do that. It has to be simple, and everyone needs to be rowing the boat. All right. So, number one, if it's not simple, they're going to be confused and they won't do it. What's it look like now to kind of keep the paddles going? You can encourage them by either A, recognizing them for their activities, whatever those activities are. Maybe it's the number of invites they've done. Maybe it's the follow-ups. Maybe it's volume related. Maybe it's rank related. Maybe it's the number of people that are on this Zoom. If I was you, here's a little tip. If I was you, I would look at who's on this Zoom right now. And if any of them are on your team, I will tell you that those are the people that are most serious about the business right now. Now, I know there's some people that are not here that maybe are pretty serious about the business. However, I always use events as an eye opener for me to know who's paddling. If they're here on this Zoom, they're the most important people. They're the people that I put the most focus on, right? And so number 2 is knowing who's doing the work and how to encourage them, right? And I would say this finally, guys, when it comes to this illustration. I know I've kind of gone through a lot of things here, but I'm really drilling this home so that no one can ever get this confused again, okay? Consultants drive the boat. Life Vantage is the boat. No one's getting in your boat unless you know where you're going. And the more people in the boat, the better. Here's the final thing I will tell you. It's the phases of this business. Let's say there's 10 or 15 people in that boat. That'd be kind of crowded, but let's just say. And this gentleman has taught everyone how to row, and the boat's being rowed. Is there a chance that the man that started this, his shoulders might be super tired because he's been paddling from the jump and been teaching people. He might need a break. If he puts his paddles in the boat and he's got 10 other people that know how to paddle, want to paddle, and they know where they're going. If he puts his paddles in the boat, is the boat still moving? The answer is yes. Because he's got 10 people that know what they want, know how to do it, and are doing it. Things are going to happen in your life. And this is why it's critical that you guys understand this. Number 1, the fastest way to get to where you want to be in this business is to know where you're going and tell other people where you're going. Invite that way. Do not invite to the money. Do not invite to the oxidative stress story. Don't do that. Invite to your destination. where you are going, because other people want the exact same thing you want. All right. Once you're doing that, everyone, make sure that you are helping other people learn the simple steps along the way. If you're still doing all the work, ask yourself this, guys. If you stop doing the presentations in your group, does your volume completely stop? If you stop doing the trainings, does the trainings completely stop? If you stop doing the graphics and the marketing stuff, if you stop, does it all stop? And if the answer is yes to any of that, it just simply means you don't have enough people in your boat rowing. Or maybe what you're doing is too difficult and no one wants to do all of what you're doing. There's so many metaphors to this illustration. But I want you guys to be thinking back to this as you're building your business, okay? Float the boat, know where you're going, get people in the boat, teach them how to paddle, and before long, you will be where you want to be. All right. So with that, I'm going to just share a couple other things here. Let's see if I can slide through, if it will come up. I'm going to end with this. Oh, you know what? Let me hit on this real quick. I know, Josie, you said, I'm coming up on that timeline that you said. I'm trying to think on the fly here. No, I'm going to go to this video. Okay, let me set this up. I think it'll jump over to where I need it to be. Here's what I want to wrap this training up with. No matter where I work around the world, the number one thing I have to do with my organization is I have to build trust. Trust is everything. Have you guys heard that this is a people business? Yes, you've heard that. And when it comes to people, there's relationships, right? I have relationships with you guys. A big part of a successful relationship, maybe the biggest part, is trust. So if this is a people business and a relationship business, trust might be the most important thing that we can establish. Now, there are a lot of things that we can do to establish trust. There's also things that we do that breaks that trust. You have to be extremely careful that the decisions you're making are building trust, not breaking trust. All right. I'm going to play a clip by Simon Sinek. It's a couple minutes long. A lot of you guys will know who Simon Sinek is. This clip is extremely powerful and it outlines the importance of trust over performance. Let me see if I can get this. You know what? I might have to stop share. The sound's probably not going to be good. I'm going to stop share, click the right buttons, and then come right back in. So 1 second. Share again here. Here we go. Optimize for sound. Good. Share. All right. Do you guys still see? Can you guys still see the? No, I'm probably gonna have to switch this back over again, aren't I? No, I think we're good. Well, are we still good? I can't see you guys. Thumbs up or say someone tell me we're still good. Full
Yeah,
screen.
all good.
All good. Okay. All right. Here's the video.
Plus, I just think this is really interesting. So, I've worked with the Navy SEALs, and I asked them, like, how do you pick like the guys that go on SEAL Team 6, right? Because they're the best, the best, the best, the best. And they drew a graph for me, and on one side they wrote the word performance, and on the other side they wrote the word trust. The way they define the terms is performance on the battlefield and performance off the battlefield. So this is your skills. This is, did you make your quarterly earnings, whatever, however you want to translate it, right? Performance, it's traditional. This is, how are you off the battlefield? What kind of person are you? The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, but do I trust you with my money and my wife? They're SEALs. This is what they told me. Nobody wants this person, the low performer of low trust, of course. Of course, everybody wants this person, the high performer of high trust. Of course. What they learned is that this person, the high performer of low trust, is a toxic leader and a toxic team member. And they would rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer of high trust, it's a relative scale, over this person. This is the highest performing organization on the planet, and this person is more important than this person. And the problem in business is we have lopsided metrics. We have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance and negligible to no metrics to measure someone's trustworthiness. And so what we end up doing is promoting or bonusing toxicity in our businesses, which is bad for the long game because it eventually destroys the whole organization. The irony is it's unbelievably easy to find these people. Go to any team and say, who's the asshole? And they'll... they will all point to the same person. Equally, if you go to any team and say, who do you trust more than anybody else? Who's always got your back? And when the chips are down, they will be there with you. They will also all point to the same person. It's the best gifted natural leader who's creating an environment for everybody else to succeed, and they may not be your most individual highest performer. But that person, you better keep them on your team.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So I hope that lands with you guys because there's so much importance in what he just said for what we do in network marketing. This is a team-based opportunity, as we just illustrated with the boat. Fastest way to get to what you want is with a team. Now, the last few minutes, I'm just going to share some things that build or break trust, okay? One of the reasons why I've been as successful, Lynette and I have been as successful as we've been at LifeVantage, is I can look every one of you in the eye or anywhere I go in LifeVantage, and none of you would ever question my trust. None of you. Not one of you would question my trust because I've never given you a reason to not trust me. I'm extremely careful of what I put in social media. I can't tell you how many times I've had stuff posted or typed up and I deleted it. When I tell you I'm going to do something, unless I am deathly ill or some crazy thing has happened, I do it. Now, this isn't about me. I'm not telling you that to say I'm this great person. What I'm telling you is this business is based on trust. One of the things that will get people to trust you the fastest is your radical consistency. Be consistent. When you say you're going to show up, show up. And I think show up as much as you can show up. The things that let you down in life, like if you had a car that every third or fourth time you went to start it, it would not start, would you kind of second guess what car you're going to take? Like, or if you're in a rush, like you got to go, you're late, would you grab that car or would you find another car? You guys, we are in our society. We are all under so much pressure. No one has time to get to our goals slow. We want to get there as fast as we can get there. If you're going to get there fast, guys, you need to build an organization that knows where they're going. You teach them the simple things of what they need to do to get there. And you have unbelievable, unshakable trust in the organization that they can count on you and you can count on them. I hope this training has landed well. I hope you refer back to this because probably in 6 months or a year from now, what I just shared with you will land differently. But I'm so excited for what I witnessed in Australia just a few weeks ago. I came away and heard the stories of where we are as an organization there as a whole, all the teams. I'm thrilled to work with you guys, and it's been a pleasure being able to be with you guys here on this Saturday morning. So, Phil, I'm going to turn this thing back over to you.
Awesome. That was super, super cool. But before we go on to anything else, guys, put in the chat one thing that you took away from Brandon's chat? I know there's heaps of them, but just give me one powerful line, powerful word. And while we're getting that coming through, I love the analogy about the boat and the oars. And remember when I was at Academy, and on the one thing I was talking about, it's called network marketing. That's the work and the oars. That's the biggest takeaway from me, and I love it. It's so, so cool. So radical consistency, building trust. 100%. People only work with you if they know I can trust you. So super, super cool. Thank you, Brandon, for getting up your Friday evening. And that was the best training I've actually had in ages. So love it. So I'm known as Talky Talk. I'm going to zip it. We're going to introduce Tara. She's going to come in here. And Tara, she's a presidential as well. But the one thing I just want to say is that she has just celebrated her 19th year in network marketing, and just over one decade or a decade with being the Life Foundation. That was on the 15th of March. So give it up, give it a high five, dance around, jump around, do your thing. But I'm going to just hand it over to Tara. Share your magic nuggets of wisdom. Again, I know it's your Friday evening, so take it to you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And good morning, everyone. And great training, Brandon. I was glad I got back to the hotel. I'm here in Utah, about 30 minutes from our corporate office. My daughter plays softball here, so we were across the street just at a game, and I rushed home. And I was just so honored that, I was invited to speak here because I'm really excited because I feel like, in every business, there's ups and downs, and no business in the history of the world has ever gone like that. Not a single business in our industry, in the world, like not a single one. Everyone has bumps. Some of them are retractions. And I'll tell you a really quick story just to get you excited before I go on my training. So I have a hair like sticking on my face. There's a company called New Skin, and they were at $2 billion in sales, and they had a massive decline. They lost about 60% of their sales. It got down to 800 million. And a team decided to pick a product they were excited about and put a system together and promote that product. And with a $17 product, a $17 toothpaste, they grew back to billions and beyond. So I don't believe that I believe that that anything's possible. I have this like childlike and like enthusiasm where I am one of those blissful people that thinks anything is possible. Everything goes my way. Money is easy to make. Everyone is attracted. Everyone will love LifeVantage. And so I really believe that. I believe that everyone will love LifeVantage if they see what we are, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. I really truly believe that. And so I just want to say, right now we're in a phase that we're going to need to be rebuilding. And we can blame it on anything else, but like Brandon said, we all just simply stopped rowing every day. Some of us might have got comfortable. Some of us got disenchanted with product launches or drama or whatever it is. But LifeVantage, in my opinion, is still the number one network marketing company out there. And that's why I'm here today, is because I feel like there's an awakening. And just being in Thailand a couple weeks ago, I felt like the energy is shifting. People are reminded of what we are and who we are, and really just ready to get back out there. I think everyone was kind of just whatever is going on for whatever reason. I think people are really ready. Who's ready? If you're in the chat, if you're ready, say I'm ready. So, um, I want to start with, you know, but momentum is not like something you keep forever. It's something you create, you lose, you rebuild over and over again, right? We know that. And if you're in a season where things are slower, harder, quieter, it's okay. You're not broken. Your business is not broken. You are simply called into your next level of leadership. And it's in these times where the real leaders are built. Anyone can build a momentum, right? Oh my gosh. Momentum is like when you like imagine if there's a bunch of people in a pool and you're all swimming the same way and you're creating that current. And if you jump in, you're going to get caught up in the current. Like I had in my 19 years in this profession, I've been in momentum many times, and I saw broke-minded, broke, poor people come in and just be there at the right place, the right time, and open their mouth enough, become millionaires in this profession because of momentum. But it's something that we have to, we have to create and recreate, right? and it doesn't disappear, right? It just moves. It moves towards the most excited person, right? There are still people growing right now. If you're not, it's okay. There are still a lot of people growing in LifeVantage. The most consistent person, the person willing to do the uncomfortable things consistently over time without getting unenthused. Like, I mean, basically, we are in a business of doing very unsexy, unexciting things consistently. And I think we get bored. And, Kristen Cunningham said, last year when we were in South Africa, and it was one of the most incredible trips of my entire life. I want to take my family back there. I've never felt more close to nature and God that I did in that trip. And these guides have a new, every 3 days have a new pack of people, right? We're with them for 3 solid days. I think it was like 8 game hunts or 3 hours each. So 24 hours we spend with them and we got to know them really well. And, every time they've seen a millions of lions and millions of, all these, there's another elephant, but you should see their faces. They saw it like it was the first time. And I think some of us forget what it's like to be new. Like I'll never forget when I saw the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. I was like, do we really get to, talk about this product? Do we get paid to promote this product? And I know the video is 20 years old, but stay tuned at the end. That's what got me excited about this. That's what made me fall in love with LifeVantage is the possibilities of the power of that product. And now we have extended to dozens of products in different countries, all of lots of new markets, and we have a better opportunity. But I feel like sometimes we forget how exciting it is to the new person to lower your oxidative stress, right? And like Brandon said, we can't just keep selling that though. We've got to sell the business based on the fact that we have an extraordinary, significant product that can make a real difference in people's lives. People are looking online all day, every day. You want to find out what people are searching? Go to askthepublic.com and it'll give you ideas to find out what people are searching for that could possibly lead them to you, right? Inflammation, oxidative stress, all these things. So you can create content. But we don't need, a new company. We don't need a new product. We don't need a new strategy, right? A lot of times when momentum slows, and be honest, people start thinking maybe it's the company, maybe it's the products, maybe the market is saturated. Nope. What actually happens is simpler. We drift. We just stop doing the small things that created the big results. We stop reaching out daily. We stop sharing consistently. We stop casting vision. We start overthinking instead of acting. And I know that I am 100%, guilty of that, right? But momentum is rebuilt in simple shifts, right? If you want to rebuild momentum, this is how you do it. So write this stuff down, right? Number one is energy before strategy. People don't join businesses, they join energy. I always tell people momentum isn't a thing. Momentum is a collective energy of people like thinking the same thing, being just absolutely childlike in their enthusiasm with what we have and sharing it like it's the first time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you, but aren't you glad someone reached out to you? This has changed my life. Carrie Dickey followed up with me for 6 years. 6 years. And I am so thankful she did because this has been the best company. I've spent over half my career here. I love the products. I love the people. I love what we've created. And I've created a 7-figure income for my family. And I want more of those stories. I want more, right? But you got to kind of look inside the mirror. Would they follow me right now? Would they follow you right now with your current level of excitement? Right? Are you excited or are you explaining? Excitement attracts, an explanation repels. If you're just giving people facts, oh, it lowers oxidative stress, here's the comp plan, that's not exciting. You should, like, don't overthink it. I walked around my first, I don't know, several years in network marketing saying, hey, do you know anyone that wants to earn money and make people healthy? And everyone's like, sure. Or do you know anyone that wants to get healthier and make more money? And everyone said, sure, me. What do you got? You know what I mean? Like, don't overthink it. People are looking more than ever in history for second and third incomes. I mean, I know that if it's bad in the US, it's bad everywhere else. Like, prices are going up, inflation is going up, and housing is going up. I don't even know how people get out of university and afford a house. And our incomes aren't matching that. So people are looking to subsidize it. So talking about the business, you could literally be saving a family from bankruptcy, foreclosure, devastation, being homeless, whatever. And there are people willing to do the do. There will people willing to share this opportunity with other people, right? So all you have to do is you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be the smartest person. You just have to believe again. And I'm going to give you a challenge at the end here to believe again. So all right. Now, number two, activity over perfection. Momentum loves speed. Perfection kills speed. I will take a ignorance on fire any day over someone who's got all the answers and knows the comp plan but doesn't do anything. I will take someone that just says, "Hey, do you want to know anyone that wants to get healthy and make money?" I will take that person that was willing to talk to 5 people a day like that versus one person that knows everything that's waiting for that perfect moment every week to sit down with someone to give them a perfect presentation. That's not going to happen, right? Instead of asking, "What should I do?" start asking, "Who can I serve today?" Carrie Dickey taught me this a while back. She says, every morning I wake up, I feel like I have two gifts in my hands. In one hand, I have the gift of health, and one hand, I have the gift of wealth. And every time I give one away, a new one pops up. So, how many people are you reaching out to? And Zig Ziglar said it. He says, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people on stage saying, I was on my knees praying for an opportunity. My husband lost his job. I lost my job. I wanted to be home with our infant. I wanted to pay for my daughter's college. I wanted to, help my daughter pay for her wedding. I wanted to, not work at 70 years old. And, I wanted my wife and I to, enjoy our retirement. There are so many things going on, and it's not for us to prejudge or decide. I'm looking at me 19 years ago. In today's dollars, I was probably making around $200,000 a year. So that's a lot of money. And my husband was probably making around 150. So we were making good money. We were making like together probably EC3 money. And I had a 1-year-old and a 7-year-old. We both worked full time. Looking at me, most people would be like, she's 34. This isn't going to be for her. She's got a great job. She has no debt. She has 2 small kids. When would she find the time or the desire to do this? But what they didn't realize is I didn't want to watch my baby be handed off to a nanny every day. I wanted to be there for my children. I wanted flexibility. I didn't want to have a job. I wanted to work. Now, right? This is not work marketing. This is network marketing. There's working involved. And so I worked as hard as I could in 6.5 months, and I was able to quit my job. And I quit my job October 1st, to 6.5 months into the profession, and I've never gone back to work. Why? Because I have made it my career. I started getting creative, like, oh, shoot, everyone's working 8 to 5. So I started asking my network. I had to build a network, by the way. All my family was already in it. All my friends said no. And literally, I had to go to strangers. I just kept asking people, who do you know who? Who do you know who? Who do you know that's a personal trainer, a real estate agent? Who do you know who can be at a meeting at my house at 10:30 on a Tuesday, right? And I made it a commitment that I would talk to people every day. I would find people. I would ask for referrals. One was my husband's friend who played baseball with him in college. One was my mortgage broker's wife, and one person I met on Craigslist, which is like for better, would be like social media. 3 people. 3 strangers that I didn't know when I said yes to network marketing. So if you feel like you can't get back into momentum because you've already gone through your network, the Fraser Brooks always says your network begins at the end, or your business begins at the end of your network. You've got to meet new people. You cannot rely on your friends and family. I built this without any friends and family. Now, eventually some friends came, and I have a lot of customers that are friends, but like not like one of my friends, Angie Harper, she's a high rank EC3, I believe. Now I knew her. She said no to me for 10 years. And then the product Pro Tandem changed her life. She was a customer and said, "Hey," and I said, "Hey, if you're going to tell people about this, you might as well make money." And here she is. So I have one friend, but it took me 10 years of working or 9 years of working my butt off in other companies, being successful, being that light, being the leader for her to actually come around and say, "Okay, let's do this," right? So who can you serve today, right? Go back to the basics. Do 5 conversations a day. Meet people on social media. Do a few follow-ups a day. Do one piece of content on social media. And everyone's like, oh, social media. If you're not on social media, you're missing out on 2 billion possibilities. Now, probably not all in the 22 or 24 countries we're in, but you're missing out on hundreds of millions of opportunities, right? And I'll just tell you, nothing about network marketing is exciting or glamorous, but it works every time. Seriously, it's mastering the mundane. It's doing the same thing over and over again because it's producing results. And what happens is sometimes we get results and then we say, oh, well, maybe you should try something new. Carrie Dickey said something so smart on our call Monday with the FAB here in the US and the presidentials. She said, Stu Brody, when we got in 14, 15 years ago, we made a commitment that we were going to do the same thing every single time. And it was what worked for her. It's what worked for me is showing the ABC Primetime Investigative Report and opening a conversation. Do you think you could want to be a customer? I really want people to share this. I'm looking for business partners. And, that's how I lead. I lead with the business. I show people the product and then say, look, we have to get loud about this. This is one of the greatest products in the history, but it's moved by people talking about it. And there's a lot of money to be made, a lot of money to be made if you just share this product with people, right? And so the number 3 is leadership through example. Your team is not waiting for a training, they're waiting for proof. And you have got to create your own personal momentum because you need to show people that number 1, it still works. You got to get that confidence back, that people are still joining, that results are still happening. And that proof starts with you. And the hardest person to lead, it's easy to tell someone to go have 10 conversations a day. It's harder for you to do it. You got to get back into your own personal momentum, right? And so when you move, your team moves, and when you show up, belief rises. And I always say, like, think about this circle, like BAR, belief, action, results. To the degree which you will believe, you will take action, and to the degree which you take action, you will get results, and those results will feed your belief. And so you've got to start somewhere, and sometimes you just have to start. If your belief is in the tank, and because of any reason, XYZ, it doesn't matter. If your belief is not as high as it should be, it's not contagious, it's not exciting, then you need to start with action. You need to get people in the business, get them a win, get them a paycheck. You need to get people in the products, get them a testimony, and that will remind you of why you said yes in the first place, right? This is the season that will define all of us. Again, anyone can lead like going good, when there's momentum. The slower season, the rebuilding season, this is where leaders are born, right? This is when discipline must replace motivation. Vision must replace emotion. Identity replaces circumstance. You're not just rebuilding a business, you're rebuilding your confidence, your influence, and your legacy. I don't know about you, but I'm not done yet. First of all, I feel like we have just gotten started. I mean, we're a baby company. We could be a 500 million, $1 billion company if we all do this right, if we all start rowing and paddling in the right direction, right? So momentum is a decision, and I want you all to make that decision with me today. It's not a feeling, it's not luck, it's not timing. It's a decision that says, I'm going to show up no matter what. I'm inviting even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. I'm posting even when no one responds. By the way, back in 2008, I would go back and you'd see your memories or what's posted. I used to get 1 or 2 likes, sometimes 0 likes, but I just kept being consistent. I kept sharing my journey, my wins, my ranks, my disappointments. And now I have 27,000 followers and 5,000 friends on Facebook. And that's where I still get most of my leads when I do social media. But I started with like nothing. I had to build it. And you know how I built it? By showing up consistently, right? And following up even when it's awkward, even when you doubt yourself as a leader. I promise you, the more things you do in private, the more like a lot of people, how do I say, you need to have private victories. You need to do these things when nobody's watching, because then once you do, then you're going to start become seller titles. You're going to start being ranked. You're going to start, getting on the trips, and those are the outside victories. But you got to have the inside victories first. And so I just going to encourage you to return to your why. Why did you get started? What did you want from this business? Because it is still possible right now with our time. There are people in the wellness space right now putting in 20,000 people a month in 70-year-old companies with 2 million distributors, which is 40 times the size of our company, with Me Too products. I promise you, all you need to do is make a decision. Find what makes your heart sing. Whether that's, I mean, for me, it's Protandem, it's the collagen, it's the skincare, and it's the Axio. I would die on a sword for all four of those products, right? So I want you to ask yourself, who do I need to become to create the next level of my life and my business? Like you have to identify with that person. You can't think about what is in the past. You need to go forward and you need to start learning the skills, the mindset. My kids always say, Mom, where do you think your success comes from? And I take them to my library. I'm like, the hundreds of books that I've read or listened to. I downloaded, I had to rewrite old files. I grew up poor. I grew up with nothing. I was told, don't go to college. I was told, get a job and work for someone else, all these things, right? I had to feed myself. I had to feed myself a different story of what was possible. And then I did the work and I started having success and that grew my belief. And then I took action and I got results and it just created this personal momentum, right? So what would the version of you, what would the presidential in the future of you, what would they tell you to do today, right? There is a presidential, there is some path, a trajectory, because you have an infinite amount of possibilities because every second of every day you make a decision. And there is an infinite amount of forks in the road. And you can make a decision every day to turn off your television, to stop scrolling, to get serious, to get out of your comfort zone. These are all decisions. You are one decision away from a completely different life. It wasn't fun for me in the beginning. I got rejected and ridiculed and told this isn't going to work and don't quit my day job, all that. And I just chose not to believe it. And I just did what they told me and they did it insatiably. Like I think I would call until I got people in my living room. And I promised that I would be in 2 living rooms a week besides mine every single week. And I did it for 15 months. Well, Tara, why'd you take a week off? Because I was on a Caribbean cruise for being so consistent. I went from 0 to 15 months in the industry, making $35,000 US a month. No family, no friends, no, this is my first company in 2007. And if I can do it, you can do it because I made a decision that I wanted to have a different life. I wanted to have a different path, so you have to make a decision, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, today. Like get off the call and think of, maybe you post something on social media. Maybe you reach out to people. Maybe you follow up with someone that hasn't ever bought from you. And I'm going to give you a specific challenge. So stay tuned. So for the next 10 days, right? Because it's the 21st, we have 10 days to the end of the month. I want you guys to reach out every day and show somebody, not just show somebody. I want you to watch it with them. I want you to watch the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. I know, Josie, you had a couple. There's a 6-minute version, there's a 12-minute version, there's a 15-minute version. I like the 11-minute version. I personally, why do I want you to win? I don't want you to send a link. Why do I want you to watch it with them? Because your belief isn't where you are. And if you had everything you needed to go where you wanted to go, you'd already be there. So you need to build your belief. I want you to see that full video. I want that to repeat in your head 10 times. And I want you to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how lazy I have been. What an incredible product. And, you can even do something fun like when they hold up the mouse, it's like studies are underway to see if indeed this leads to a longer life. You can pause it and say, I want to let you know that study was started a year after this in 2006. And in 2016, we published that study. It was a US government funded study. And it shows that Protandem NRF2 was the only product given to all of these mice over 10 years to extend their life in a meaningful way, and they were healthier. I don't know about you, but I haven't ever seen a product like that. And you guys, we still have the only NRF2 story. We have a product that is so unique, so patented, and makes a real difference in people's life, and we can get paid to promote it. Sign me up all over again. So I'm going to challenge you to make a minimum. This is your minimum. 10 in 10 days. I want you to sit down, and if your contact or your prospect is not with you, sit on Zoom, put your camera on, put your phone down, do not be distracted. And I want you to share your screen and you put your pictures up, and I want you to watch it like it's the first time with 10 people. Now, if you want to hyper growth your business, if you want to crawl, 1 person a day, maybe if you want to jog, 3 people a day, and if you want to run, 5 people a day. Now you've got conversations. You got 10 to 50 conversations started. You're going to tell me that's not going to move your needle? Well, in the process, you're going to have more belief. You're going to start conversations. And I promise you, for every 10 people, if you just do this right, you're going to get 2 to 3 customers and at least 1 consultant, because that's what the numbers have told me. And if you do that and you share your story, You can be very, genuine and say, hey, you know what? I don't know what I've been doing. I've been distracted. I've been busy in my life. But I tell you right now, I am going all in with this company. I'm going to make the run of my lifetime. And I'm looking for 3 to 5 people who want to run with me, because you only need 3 to 5 people to be rich. That's it. So you need 3 to 5 people that you can run and sell out your soul to them and work with them and run with them and educate them and make them feel confident and like pretend that that's your paycheck that they're going to get, and really like link arms with them. I promise you, even if you don't know everything, even if you don't know where to start, just start there. Just start having conversations. And if you're not like, if you're new, get them on the phone with somebody in your upline, right? But I'll just tell you this, that momentum is created with a decision, and it takes a focused days stacked together. You can't do a couple here and a couple there. Success favors speed. You need to get in so many conversations that you need to write them all down, and you're gonna create momentum. You're gonna have to like do more activity, and you're gonna be so busy. If you make 50 reach outs, you're gonna be so busy that it's gonna be crazy, and you will find 1 or 2 people in there that want to run, and then run with them. All right. Let me just just close with this. You're closer than you think. The people you're looking for are looking for someone exactly like you. Just like someone who reached out to you, you can be their savior. But they cannot find you if you're sitting in hesitation. This is your moment to decide, what will I do? Will I wait or will I lead? Because momentum is not something we hope for, it's something we create. And it starts right now. It starts with you. It starts with a decision. It starts with activity. It starts to building your back to belief through actions, results. And I'm telling you, the person who meets the most contacts is going to win. I tell you one last story. A guy named Bill, he was a pastor, and he went to Pro 5, which is now MC2, 20,000 in volume, his first 30 days. And I interviewed him. I'm like, so Bill, and I had no idea what he was going to say, because I wanted it raw and authentic. And I said, Bill, how did you do this? He said, I sent 50 people a text, and he used the 6-minute version. He says, if I send you a 6-minute video that will blow your mind, will you watch it? And he says, to my total surprise, everyone said, sure, send it. And people's responses were, oh my gosh, where is this? How can I get some? What is it? And he says, I'm looking for people that want to take the product, but I'm looking for people who could do what I just did and share this video with you and make money. And he had that conversation. He signed up several customers, several consultants his first month, and taught them a simple thing. Send this to 50 people and say, if I show you a 10-minute video or whatever, you've picked the one that likes, everyone's like, which version I should do? Watch 3 of them. Whatever one you'd be excited to share, that's the perfect tool, right? Whatever tool you're sharing is the perfect tool. And then have a conversation, say, look, I would love you to take this product if nothing else. But more importantly, we need more soldiers. We need more people to do what I did. Could you share this text with 50 people? If I told you it could probably be a catalyst to a life-changing business that you can work from home, anywhere from. And it worked. So, like, please don't overthink it. You don't need to know the Evolve comp plan. You don't need to know what NRF2 is. You could probably ask Marcel and Tyler and several of them. They probably couldn't even tell you what NRF2 stands for, right? They probably don't even know what it does, but they know it makes people feel better, and they know it's backed by science, and they know it's significant. They know it's powerful, but they also know that the business is powerful because of those products. And you now have a wellness store where you can offer people solutions for everyday problems. And like skincare, most luxury skincares are harmful and they're plumping your skin because it's toxic. We have a good, clean skincare. I mean, there's so many things that you can learn, but right now I'm going to ask you to just do whatever you can to go back to basics, get excited, and just do something. So I'm going to challenge you guys to do 10 in 10 days. Who's going to accept my challenge? And that's all I have for you. I love you guys. And I really am honored that you had me here today. And I really thank you, Josie.
Wow, everyone who is excited, because I am so, so, so ready. We are ready to build. My goodness, Tara, Brandon, Cunningham, here we fly over to our host.
Thank you, Phil.
Oh, that was so cool. And I can see why you and Carrie Dickey get on so well, because it's this crazy fiery energy. And I love it because we talk about personalities in at the academy, and you're wearing a blue shirt. The blues are full of energy. So I love it. For those of you on the call here, share, there's so many things that you shared. what is one thing, one takeaway that you got here that really just got you fired up? And while you guys are doing that, and I want to share something. When you mentioned that you had zero network and you got started. When I was a financial planner, I'd moved cities. I knew nobody. My first person I got involved in the financial plan to help them get started, get their health and wealth together, was my hairdresser. So that was it, and that's how I started. And I totally new city, and knew nobody, absolutely nobody. So, and the another takeaway that I got here is that you spoke about master the mundane. And a good friend of mine said to me, there's magic in the mundane. And I just love that, what you said there. And I'll say one more thing. My son said to me, we all talk about frequency, right? Yeah, getting the right frequency. But my son said something to me today. Frequency is something you frequently see. So put that where you want. If it's getting in the scroll hole or looking at negative stuff, guess what? That's what you're going to attract. So what I've been doing, I'm saying I want to work with corporate men. All my Facebook friends now are just men. So talk to your phone. Say, I want this, and they're listening to you. You're going to get it. So I'm going to end it up there. If there's anything, Josie, you want to take away, but this has been super cool. I'm really super excited. Let's get all in there and just keep it simple. That simple thing, send a video. It's going to blow your mind. Would you want to watch it? Done. So thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call and to Phil for hosting this. So let's go to work. Let's go to work. Who's ready to go to